Hey everyone, what is up? This is Tim Rose, and on this channel, my goal is always to hit my mark and to help you hit your mark as well. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications right now. Okay, now with that being said, we're going to jump straight into today's topic. We are talking about monetization on YouTube, kind of the ins and the outs of monetization, what it's all about, how you get there, and what benefits it has for your channel once you reach that plateau. Now, I want you to keep in mind that what I'm sharing today is not something that really a lot of people talk about. I honestly can't say that I've really ever heard a big YouTuber talk about this, but I think that this is extremely important information for you to know as a small content creator. So basically, what happens? You have an idea, you want to start your YouTube channel, you've been inspired by somebody, or maybe it's something you've been thinking about for years and you decide, okay, now it's time for me to start my channel. So that's awesome. You come up with some ideas, you get your camera ready, you get your audio ready. And by the way, the best camera and gear that you have is or to make your videos is what you've got. So, when you're starting out on YouTube, you don't have to rush out to get like the big expensive camera and the expensive gear and all the gadgets and the lighting and everything. I mean, those things are great to have, but they're not essential to get yourself off the ground and going. So be encouraged if you decide you want to start your channel and your long-term goal is that you want to make money from it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a very healthy goal, actually. But I'm going to share the information and the tips with you today that I hope are going to open your eyes to the reality of the process that it is. So you start your channel, maybe you're uncertain about, what niche you want to try, and you kind of get going and you get started. And then, you're making multiple types of videos, which, by the way, when you're starting and you're not sure what you want to do is totally okay. Don't be discouraged by people telling you that you shouldn't do that. I mean, if you want long-term growth and you want to really grow your channel in a specific niche, you're going to have a lot more success. Channels that now try to create variety shows, variety channels, they're not popular like they were, 7, 10, 12 years ago. Back then you could create that type of channel and you could really kind of get yourself going and get following very quickly. But YouTube these days is basically like the early days of Nintendo. I've shared that before, where it's actually really difficult. Nintendo, when it first came out, it was hard to beat the games. They didn't hold your hand. They didn't tell you how to do stuff. You didn't have the internet to look up walkthroughs and strategies, videos to show you how. You basically, if you were like me, you had your once a month Nintendo Power. And I so looked forward to when I would get my Nintendo Power so I could see what new games were coming. And you could, find some tips and strategies on your favorite games. But by no means did that make it easy to beat the game. It was a really challenging time for video gamers. And, I grew up as a gamer, so this kind of time in my life was something that I fondly remember. That's why I like to make videos for gamers too, because I grew up as a gamer and I still enjoy playing some games when I have a bit of time. Not that I have a lot of time these days, but it is something that I really do enjoy, and I can relate to any of the gamers out there because I get the same excitement and feelings still from playing certain games. And so when you're choosing your niche, you need to really zero in on what you're passionate about. And if that's cooking, if that's, if that's gaming, if that's education, tutorials, if it's technology, whatever it is, you have to just get going, get started, and then the basics of getting yourself to monetization, okay? So this is where a lot of people have misinformation or they don't understand. I see all the time questions from people in forums online that it's kind of almost a bit painful, because so many people, I think, have this idea that in their head that they can start their channel and within a very short time they're going to be making lots of money off of YouTube, and it almost never happens. Not that it can't happen. It very occasionally does for you know, an internet sensation who seems to blow up out of nowhere, but for the most part, that's not the case. So the basics are, as a new content creator, you need to have at least 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, the reason I was talking so much about your niche is because it really ties into this. And I'm going to give you a couple examples, okay? So, number one, some channels will have a very easy time getting their 1,000 subscribers and a very difficult time getting their 4,000 watch hours. And some channels have the flip, where they have a really tough time getting to the 1,000 subscribers, but they get their watch time like that. And, you know, so as an example, I'll use my channel for you as an example. I have 2,500 subscribers, just about, and I'm only halfway to my monetization. Now, granted, I was off for a while, so that obviously hurt me. But even if I had kept making a video per week for that 6 months or so I wasn't here, I know for a fact I still, based on my analytical history, going through everything and all my data, I know I wouldn't be at my 4,000 watch hours. I probably would be about 3/4 of the way there, at about 3,000. As it stands, I'm at about the 50% mark. So I've had a relatively easy time getting people to subscribe because of my energy, my passion coming across. Most people really like me, and they realize that I'm the real deal. You know, I'm not just saying it and then ignoring people. I answer all my comments, and I take time really connecting with people, really trying to grow my channel, grow my brand. And it's a slow process, but people get that genuine vibe from me. So I get subscribers quite quickly and easily, which is awesome. I love that. But my videos don't tend to be as long. And one of the things that I really want to stress to you, if you're watching your favorite content creators' videos and you're watching people that you like to support, please make sure you watch the entire video. One thing that really hurts people with getting YouTube to push out their videos to more and more people is when people are clicking away really quickly, like within the first minute or two. It really kills the momentum for the video and makes it challenging to get out there. And so, as an example, if I put out a 6-minute video, most of the time I'm getting somewhere between 2 to 2.5 minutes, maybe 2:45 average view duration. So I'm somewhere between, almost all of my videos are somewhere between 30 to 45% retention, which is good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's quite good. The problem is that, you know, when you're making only 1 or 2 videos a week, you're gonna have to make literally hundreds of videos a year to get to your 4,000 hours. Unless, you know, you get that viral hit or that one that just is a sensation that takes off for you. So that's something to keep in mind as you are supporting other content creators. The other thing I wanted to mention is, if you don't have the time to watch the video right now, that's okay. I'd highly suggest come back and watch it at another time when you can watch it all without any pressure, and you can just relax and enjoy and really take in the content. I've seen a number of people lately that like to watch the videos at 1.5 or 2 times speed, And the problem is that that actually reduces the watch time and the retention on the video right off the bat. So as an example, if you have a 10-minute video and you're watching at 2 times speed, guess what? You watched it in 5 minutes, but the content creator gets credit for the 5 minutes and gets a 50% retention. And it's exponential. So if you're watching at twice speed and you only end up going ahead with, like, say, a few minutes of watching the video and then you cut out, they're going to have very, very, very low view duration and retention. And that stuff really does hurt the content creator. So please support your favorite content creators. Make sure you watch their whole videos. I know this is something I really strive to do. And the other thing for your favorite content creators as well is with their ads. Any of the people that I watch and that I follow, any of them that have their ads, I always let their ads run. I know it's a bit of a pain when some of the ads are long, but you know what? There's so many times I can do something else in the minute or couple minutes the ad's running that, it's not a big deal. I can be doing other stuff on my computer. I can be, writing out a list for something. I can be planning something out in my mind so that that person gets the benefit, because, it is hard. I really identify with all of you as small YouTubers how challenging this is. Now, monetization. You've managed to hit your 1,000 subscribers, your 4,000 hours, and you get that magical process done with YouTube. You've been accepted into the partner program, and you're like, okay, now what happens? So basically, at this point, you now have created a number of videos. You've got a decent sized following. If you're aiming for that, as we've talked about previously, that 10, 15, 20% watch range compared to your subscriber count. So if you have 1,000 subscribers and you put out a new video, within your first week or so, or few days or a week, you really want to be somewhere between 1 to 200 views is a good range to be in. YouTube will promote your content at that average. Then that's a good place to be. If you really want to drive your monetization, to new levels, there's lots of little tips and tricks that you can use and utilize along the way to continue to increase those and grow those avenues. Now, one of the challenges that I find a lot of small content creators have is they have it in their mind that now they're monetized, the checks are going to start rolling in and the money's just going to start coming in. And again, it's one of those things that doesn't really tend to happen like that right off the bat. Now, you can do great with AdSense down the line. As you keep growing your channel, you keep growing your audience, you can start to do really, really, really well. But it does take a lot of time to get there. And what I find is a lot of people think that magically now the money's just going to start rolling in, the checks are going to be there. And there's a lot of videos you can watch which will kind of reveal to you the first check that someone gets. And, usually they're not huge checks. That being said, if someone has, created enough content that they're starting to earn, $50, $60, $70 a month, then the way that it typically works, monetization, is you get paid for the previous month about the 3rd week of the next month. So if you made videos through June and your earnings were $150, you would get paid that about the 3rd week of July. And July, you would get paid the 3rd week of August. So it's about a month in arrears. Now with your monetization, one of the important things to remember is that as you're continuing to go and increase your content and add new content, you want to keep on striving to improve the quality, improve the content, and that is going to continue to help you to grow your channel. As you're gaining more subscribers, you're going to have more people watching, your ads are going to be running more, and that means more and more and more ad revenue. Now, a lot of people get, like I say, get to this place where they're thinking that huge checks are going to roll in, and it could happen if your channel happens to take off really fast, but the odds of that happening are not very high. It's more like a slow and steady wins the race. So now you're monetized, you're starting to make some money, and you're starting to, want to expand that and grow that. Lots of little tips and lots of little things you can do to help that happen and to help increase that. Now, a number of things that you could do would be to run mid-roll ads in your videos. So any video now that's over 8 minutes or longer now can have the option of running mid-roll ads. Up till recently, it was 10 minutes or longer. So this actually opens up a lot of opportunities for people who have a little bit shorter videos, but want to have that opportunity to increase that ad revenue. Now, the biggest thing with this that I would suggest is you're going to have a lot of like your loyal subscribers who are coming and watching your videos regardless of the mid-roll ads. And then you're going to have the people who don't like it, the people who get frustrated by it. And I get it, because if you're in the middle of enjoying the video, it is a bit annoying to have the ad run smack dab in the middle of your video. What I would suggest, if you want to try this out and see the results you get from it, would be to run your ad about a minute or so after your average audience retention drops drastically. So as an example, let's say that you have a video that is 10 minutes long and your retention on it is 40%. It's about a 4-minute view duration on your 10-minute video. And it seems to be, for whatever reason in this video, your typical your typical retention goes to about 40% and then takes a drastic drop. And very quickly, within like a short amount of time, it drops down to like 30% or 25%. What I would suggest at that point to increase your revenue is put your ad in about 30 seconds to 60 seconds after you get that drop. And the reason is because anyone who's staying past that, your 25-30% of your super loyal audience who are going to watch regardless, their ad is going to run, and that's going to increase your revenue. And it's not going to frustrate them because they're still there to watch you and enjoy your content and to learn or be entertained or whatever it is. So that's one way you can really kind of increase the money that you earn from your ad revenue. Now, the other important thing to remember with monetization, and this is a super, super important thing to remember, and I've touched on this in the previous video, but YouTube is 100% a business, and they don't care about your small channel. I'm sorry to say it. They don't care about my small channel. They don't care about anybody's channel who is not yet monetized. And the reason is because YouTube's a business. They're in business to make money. And if you don't make them money, why would they care about you? I mean, it just makes sense, right? So the thing is that a lot of people don't realize that YouTube has certain little ways it will give you boosts. And monetization, I have truly come to believe after, as I mentioned again in the previous video, studying a lot of analytical data, studying a lot of channels, YouTube monetization is a way that you will get a boost. And the reason is because once you're monetized, YouTube now says, the algorithm comes in and says, now this person can make us money. Look, they're keeping people engaged on the platform. The more people are engaged on the platform, the more money YouTube makes. The more money YouTube makes, the more money you make. So it's super important to remember that as a content creator, once you're monetized, it's almost a guarantee that at some point, and again, it doesn't happen always right away. It doesn't always happen instantly for everybody, but at some point, YouTube will come back in, select some of your older videos, and they will boost you out like crazy to get you in a larger audience of people that they know will like your content and enjoy your content. And that in turn is going to keep lots more people on the platform, and it's going to make them a lot more money. And then guess what? You're going to start getting a pretty decent payday. An example of this that I want to share is there was a gaming channel. I saw his video last year and he talked about what happened to him, his process. So he had grown over the span of a couple years to about 10,000 subscribers, which is a decent size for a gaming channel, especially when you consider the gaming channels that have millions of subscribers and there's a lot to compete with. Gaming is a difficult niche, but you can still do great in it these days. But anyways, this gentleman had grown a channel to about 10,000 subscribers. And he had a number of videos that were, you know, just doing okay, kind of ticking away slowly over time. And he had a video that only had about 1,500 views after 6 months. So it was just sitting there. He said it basically was a dead video. It was doing nothing. And I have a few myself that are doing really, really well. And I have a few where it seems like nobody's watching them. Like, you know, maybe there's a few views a month coming in on them. Thankfully, I have some other evergreen videos that are doing great. But this gentleman had this video, 1,500 views, basically dead in the water, 6 months. Before he knew it, that video went viral for him to the tune of 200,000 views in a 1-month span. He basically said he couldn't believe it. It was crazy. He said, I have no idea why that video all of a sudden took off. It was dead. Nobody had watched it. Nobody was watching it anymore. And all of a sudden, that video takes off. And guess what? He got 22,000 new subscribers in 1 month. Can you imagine, like, just every day waking up and you've got like 700, 800, 900, 1,000 new subscribers for like a month? You would just be like over the moon. And that's what happened to him. And this is not the only case that I have that I've looked into. I've seen this happen in a number of other cases and circumstances. And you need to remember too that every content creator is very different. So what happens for one content creator isn't a guarantee for another. However, I have seen this be something that has happened across the board multiple times for multiple content creators. And the reason is because now YouTube comes back in, rewards him, and guess what? Now he's at 32,000 subscribers, and it's like a snowball. He's just going to keep growing and growing like crazy. And another example of this is my friend Leela over on her channel. She does, I'm sure a lot of you know who she is. She does a lot of really fantastic Adobe tutorials, Photoshop tutorials, Premiere Pro, stuff like that. Kind of like Daniel Batal does, but Daniel Batal does Filmora. And Filmora, by the way, if anyone was ever wondering, that's the software that I use for my editing. But Leela, a few months ago, her channel just kind of started taking off like crazy. It feels like 5 minutes ago, she was at like 10,000 subscribers. And then I remember even like a couple months ago, I looked and she was at like 16,000. And I was like, oh, wow, like what a jump. And from like 2 months ago to now, she's up to, I think, over 23 or maybe almost 24,000 subscribers now. And it's kind of the same process. The same thing is happening. YouTube is coming back in and saying, okay, this person is now monetized. This person can make us money, so let's boost them out. So the reason I want to share that and stress that is because I want you to be encouraged to know that there is amazing potential for you as you go and as you grow along the way. Don't be discouraged by the lengthy process. That's where a lot of people fall short and fail on YouTube, because they see like, oh man, it's going to take me 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. Or you know what, guys like Moz and Mr. Beast, it took them 7 years or 8 years to get any kind of traction and following. Just look at Mr. Beast. I mean, his first 100 videos, he had 790 subscribers. I mean, on 100 videos. So you know, if you've made 100 videos and you've got a couple thousand or a few thousand subscribers, like, you're doing better than he was. And so this is something really important to think about. Another little thing that will help boost your videos as well is, and this isn't necessarily related to the monetization aspect, but if you can possibly film your videos in a higher quality or get even some of them to a 4K quality, and I know this is challenging depending on the camera that you have because of overheating issues, etc. But 4K quality will actually give you a little bit of a boost on YouTube. And a lot of people don't know that, but it is true. So there's, again, lots more to this talk about monetization and being monetized. What I really want from everyone today who is watching this video, I want to know, like, are you monetized, and what was the process like for you? And if you're not monetized, maybe where you're at, what struggles are you having? What challenges are you facing? Are you having a difficult time getting your 1,000 subscribers, but your tons of watch time is there? Is it flipped for you? Are you having a really easy time, you know, getting your hours, but you're not, you know, you're having a tough time with getting subscribers? And just to leave you with one more example of the flip side, where, you know, I have easier time with subscribers, tough time with watch. My good friend Matt over at Healing Melodies, he's got about 615 subscribers now, after about a year and a half. So it's slow for him that way, but he's got 9,000 hours of watch time. So again, like, I mean, I could dive for another half hour into talking about the niches, but I think we'll save that for another video. But, you know, really, depending on your niche, you might have a really tough time with both, an easy time with both, or an easy with one and difficult with the other. So please leave your comments, leave your thoughts, leave your feedback. Let me know, let everyone in the comments know, what struggles and challenges are you facing with monetization? If you're there, what are your successes? Share some of your successes, share some of your tips, some of the secrets that you've used, or the things you've done to adapt, the things you've done to help drive your revenue higher. Are there tips and strategies that you want to share? Because this community is all about helping each other grow, and I want this community to grow so large, and I want it to be, you know, a place where people come for help. I want it to be a #1 location where people come to help each other. So make sure you don't forget as well that I have the brand new Make Your Mark Facebook group. Everybody's invited. I do have a few questions asked just so that I ensure everyone coming in is going to be friendly and helpful. There's only a few of us in it right now, but we definitely would love to have any and all of you join us there. It's a place where we can, you know, share thoughts, ideas, encourage each other. I don't really want a lot of video link spamming, but if it pertains to a question somebody has, I don't mind someone doing that once in a while. Just don't overdo it. And make sure that you know, are coming in, participating, and encouraging each other. I really want this to continue to grow and help other people. And if you are new here, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so you're there for all the future content. We're going to keep diving into these amazing conversations. We're going to keep on sharing, talking. We're going to keep on revealing all the tips and strategies and the analytics and the metrics that go into everything. And thank you as well for all your questions. I actually have so many questions right now from the previous few videos that I honestly believe I could probably make about 4 or 5 Q&As from all of that. The reason I'm going to break it into more Q&As and have maybe between 5 to 7 questions per video is simply because of the fact that I want to actually take time to answer each question properly and fully and thoroughly, rather than trying to blast through 20 questions in one video and it's like a 10-20 second response. I don't think that would do justice to the person who's taking the time to leave me a really good question and comment, and that wouldn't give me an opportunity to really dive into certain things that need attention. So please Keep leaving your questions. I absolutely love it. I love answering them, and I love being able to take them and use them for content. So look for a bunch more Q&A videos coming up very soon. And they are all going to pertain to YouTube growth, YouTube tips and strategies, tactics, the things that are going to really help you as a small content creator. Because without all of you, I don't have a successful channel. And so I am really grateful for your engagement. I absolutely love each and every one of you. And I am so thankful for the time that you take to ask me those amazing questions. Please drop your comments today, leave your questions, leave your feedback, and let's keep on crushing YouTube together and helping each other grow. And I can't wait to see the success that all of you can reach. And I'll see all of you in the next video.